Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 9, verse 17, where we read that stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Now that obviously comes as part of the context, beginning back in verse 13, speaking about the woman of folly. And we read about this woman a lot in Proverbs. We talk about it a lot in Proverbs, and for good reason. The context of the verse is the call of the affair, or immorality, which Proverbs has a great deal to say. But this verse, this call, shows the deceptive nature of the call. I think sometimes what this affair, the immorality, is aiming at, what drives people to it and lures people into it, it's the promises that sin brings to the table, and it shows the allure of sin. And when you say, well, in what way? Well, let me give you an example. I'm not sure if you're into extreme sports. I'm not, because it seems like often those who participate in such events are just trying to cheat death. And it may be in some sense that's exactly what some people are doing and why they do them. There's something about doing things that carry risk, tempting fate, so to speak, like jumping off a cliff with nothing but a wingsuit, jumping out of an airplane with nothing but a parachute, skiing down snow-covered cliffs. And if you have YouTube and watch these people on YouTube, it's scary to watch it. But it's also thrilling. You can't imagine what they're experiencing as they're doing these things. But I'll be honest to say, and I say this respectfully, my first instinct is not to say, "Wow, they're so brave," is rather to say, "These guys must be crazy," or "These people must be crazy." And I say that respectfully. But why do they do it? Well, it's not the thrill of winning a race. You don't win anything when you jump out of an airplane with a parachute, or you jump off a cliff with one of these wingsuits and fly down the side of a mountain. But it's the thrill of doing something so dangerous that it gets the adrenaline pumping. And if they manage to survive, you'll often hear them say, which they do almost always survive, by the way, you'll often hear them say they've never felt more alive. And people who do such things are often referred to as adrenaline junkies, or living on the edge, or where every decision has life or death implications. But they're not doing it frivolously. These are skilled people. These are people who are skilled. They're professionals, and they put a lot of practice into this. So while to us it looks crazy, to them it's very planned and calculated in some respects. But still, every decision has life and death implications. They're very close. One wrong move, one daydream at the wrong time could be life-ending. And so when these captions come up on the TV, "Do not try this at home," I'm thinking to myself, there's not any chance I'll ever try that anywhere, let alone at home. While our verse today is not about extreme sports, I think it is pointing out that the feeling you are getting away with something, living on the edge, is exciting. There's one thing to do it as recreation. And extreme sports obviously is not sinful. But I think the same principle can hold true morally, with morality. And that's what this woman is talking about. That's what this woman is aiming at. Stolen waters are sweet. The risk, the chance of getting caught, the adrenaline all make the waters taste sweeter, at least to the unbelieving heart. There's something about the risk, the deceit, the planning involved, the suspense, the drama, the newness of the one inviting, never been with her before. It's tantalizing. And to do it all and not get caught, man, the whole thing is thrilling. The promises, the pleasure are all heightened by the risk involved. The idea that you might be getting away with something makes it all the more attractive. Eating bread in secret, nobody knows. It's like being in a famine and no one else has bread, but you've stolen some or hidden some, and you're getting alone with this woman in secret. No one knows. It's just your little secret. Everybody around you is starving, but you found something pleasant, or at least been promised something pleasant. You could call it the lure of the forbidden fruit, cheating the consequences. The pleasure and the rush you get from sinning and getting away with it is almost greater than the act of sin itself. Addicted to the rush of cheating the consequences, or avoiding the consequences. There are some people, for example, who shoplift. And what they take they don't need, but they're so addicted to the thrill of the feeling of getting away with something that they shoplift things that they don't even want, or don't even need, but they're addicted to the feeling of cheating the consequences, of getting away with something. And that's what this woman is, this desire this a woman is aiming at, or peddling her wares to satisfy. The stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. This will be better than anything you get at home. Don't be such a prude. Live a little. It will be a night you will never forget. But unfortunately, the lure and the hype of immorality hides the inevitable and irrefutable consequences of sexual sin. The thrill turns to torment, the sweetness of stolen waters become bitter, and the bread eaten in secret becomes stale. Not because you weren't crafty enough or should have planned things better. No, because sin always destroys. It tears down, it ruins, it rots everything it touches. The thief comes but for to steal and destroy, and sexual immorality always comes like a thief, and it always steals and it always destroys. No one sins in secret. God sees everything perfectly. The darkness to him is as the light. So Galatians 6:7 says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever a man sows, this will he also reap. No one mocks God. No one sins and gets away with it. No one gets away with anything. Be sure your sin will find you out, Numbers says. Be sure your sin will hunt you down. Proverbs 9:18 alludes to this, the verse right after our verse. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. Yes, the promise of the affair, the one-night stand, is true. It will be a night you will never forget. It may be an affair to remember, but it will be one you wish you could forget. You wish you could turn back time, because death has come home. The secret is out. The family has been torn apart. Trust has been lost. The children are heartbroken. And the spouse is in ruins. All because you thought you could cheat and avoid the consequences. God is not mocked. Deuteronomy 30:19 says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. So choose life in order that you may live, and you and your descendants. And in the beginning of this chapter, God's call, or wisdom's call to us, is this: forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding. Proverbs says so much about this. What about you? Are you playing around with temptation? Are you playing around thinking you can get away with something? You're not going to get away with anything. Choose life. Choose God's way. Believe that God blesses the righteous. Choose life in order that you may live. Stolen water is not sweet. That turns bitter very, very quick. Bread eaten in secret is not pleasant. It gets moldy and stale very, very quick. Choose life in order that you may live. May this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.